A Liberal MP who once said some pretty gross things about Indigenous women now wants legal remedies for people who are sexist and racist. Careful, Justin Trudeau, with this kind of hypocrisy. Seems like this guy's gunning for your job. Cape Breton Liberal MP Jaime Battiste is a pretty great Liberal. He doesn't seem like all that great of a guy to me, but as a Liberal, I think he's nailing it. Because just like his blackface groper of a high-carbon, globe-trotting boss who also, at the same time, won't shut up about systemic racism and feminism and the environment, Battiste is accusing Canadians of things he's guilty of. And he wants to punish all of us for his wrongdoing. Just look at this. Jaime Battiste says the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms needs more teeth to curb racism. I don't believe we've created enough disincentives for people to stop being so openly racist, said the MP for Sydney Victoria. The Micmac MP is unclear if fines or other punishments would be the appropriate course of action, but he thinks actionable items need to be discussed. The boilerplate moments of the George Floyd death at the hands of police, the Brady Francis verdict, and the police shooting deaths of Chantel Moore and Rodney Levi have led constituents saying they're done with inquiries and talking they want action. On July 22nd, Battiste took part in a panel discussion on systemic racism with Nova Scotia MLA Tony Ince and Federal Minister of Diversity and Inclusion, Battiste Chagger, in hopes of finding actionable items all levels of governments could take to tackle racism. There's still so many things that are still going on today. Way back when I was 12 to now, when I'm 40, I don't see enough that has changed, said Battiste. He knows when there is discussion surrounding punishments for hate speech and racist speech, it tends to revolve around freedom of speech debates. He hopes disincentivizing that racism may help, but he's still unsure the best way to do that. Except Battiste, as I alluded to earlier, would likely be one of the first people in trouble under his own new rules. That is, of course, if he were not a Liberal and hypocrisy in the Liberal Party wasn't so rampant. You see, Battiste is a feminist, like Trudeau is, projecting his own sins on others and wanting to make others do his penance. He's also a racism fighter in the very same way. 9 months ago, during the election campaign, Battiste was apologizing for being a sexist racist himself. It's right here. Look at this. Trudeau won't remove Liberal candidate for racist sexual social media posts. Jaime Battiste, who is running for the Liberals in the riding of Sydney Victoria, issued an apology earlier this week after the Toronto Sun shared past racist and sexist remarks he had made on social media. One 2012 tweet from Battiste said, "Why do I assume every skinny Aboriginal girl is on crystal meth or pills?" Battiste told the newspaper that the posts were crude jokes he made at a different time in his life, but he now realizes they were offensive. During a campaign event in Plainfield, Ontario, this morning, Trudeau said Battiste has taken responsibility for his actions and apologized. Trudeau called the language in the posts unacceptable, but said he is pleased Battiste has apologized unreservedly. Does Battiste think we're all hard of remembering? Does the media think we're hard of remembering? And the gall of this guy to want to drop the hammer on everybody else with serious human rights complaints and maybe even charges for things he has actually done, while his life gets to go on as normal with a "I'm sorry." Battiste learned well from his boss, didn't he? He's even making his mistakes a learning lesson for the rest of us. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. Today I'm working from home in the comfort of my hayfield, but sometimes I have to go where the news is. Sometimes that involves an unfriendly protest. We've all seen the assaults on my colleagues, David Menzies, Cian Bexty. Andrew says even the boss was in danger in Toronto in Nathan Phillips Square. We have to hire bodyguards just to be able to do our jobs. If you'd like to pitch in to keep us safe, please go to journalistdefensefund.com.